Come on, Bijan. Bijan, Bijan, Bijan.
Nah, nothing for Bijan.
But you need the pits too, right? Where is?
Nah, I'm playing against Bijan in fantasy. Y'all gotta
Ah,
relax.
it's playoff time too.
Take it easy, yes. You don't need Bijan. Take whatever. Take Pitts. We in the building. December the 11th, 2025. Media Market stream, live streaming. I'm here. I'm your guy, Media
Yes, sir.
Markets. With my guy, Jimmy, in the
In
building.
the building, man.
In
Long
the building.
overdue.
Long overdue, man. I got a lot of guys. I really, just this is the first year I've been doing this daily streaming, and I think the kind of just the start of the year, I just kind of wanted to see my schedule and get a routine with it, and be able to like say, hey, I'm going to be able to do this daily. So I think I got that down packed now. So I'll definitely have everybody on. We're gonna bring Maul, Briggs, all of the guys. I gotta bring out Montel. You know what I mean? It's been a minute since I've seen him, but I know he be on the
Got
sports.
to
He
tap
be
in
he
with the
be he
game
be he be
for
showing
sure.
love as well on the post. So gotta do that. But yes, we're here December the 11th, 2025, Media Markets live stream. And I got my guy Jimmy with me. It's a lot. Let me introduce Jimmy, man. Jimmy's a friend of mine. We've been locked in since high school.
For
But
sure.
also, we play hoop together. Jimmy's I love having Jimmy on my team. He's a tough guy out there, gonna get you rebounds. He's going to be solid from that angle. He'll hit the three as well. Got a little three to his game now.
Little something, something.
So shout out to
Sneaky.
that. But always just been a solid guy. Morgan State.
Yes,
Morgan
sir.
State alumni. I don't know what you do for a living, but if you want to just tell people about yourself quickly, feel
Um,
free, my brother.
for sure. Yep. Went to Flowers. Obviously that's when I had the opportunity to meet Marky P. When I first met Marky P, I thought he was about to be a superstar rapper. He was out of here. Like
Yeah.
the lyrics was amazing. So that was my first introduction to you, Mook, all your friends. Obviously went to Morgan State University. As far as my background, I'm in the financial field, so I'm in banking. So I do a lot of auditing financials and things like that, $1 million businesses. So that's just not to go into the weeds, but I'm in finance. So yeah, I'm excited to officially tap in with you. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, we've been locked in for years. And I love all the media that you've been just dedicating your time to. Just been a supporter from a distance for a while. So I'm excited to be able to tap in with you, you know what I'm saying, get into some content with you.
I appreciate it, my guy. We're gonna make great content today for
For sure.
sure. I got a lot of things to ask you about because me and Jimmy we be locked in with all the shows,
For sure.
So we'll talk about that. One of the shows specifically is the challenge that we're gonna get in. That's what got you here. We're
That's my
gonna talk some
jam.
sports as well, Jimmy. We got to do that. Any trending topics, I'll kind of bring up
Okay.
if you got some time. We could
Sounds
discuss
good.
some of those
That
as
works
well.
for me.
But yes, we're here right now, 9:05 p.m. The game is on at 7-7 right now in the NFL,
Good
Atlanta
game.
and Tampa Bay. Good game so far. So we'll keep you guys updated with the score as we talk some trending topics and some things going on. But we're gonna start off. I'm sorry,
How
Jimmy.
we gonna
This is
set the
coming
tone?
out of
How we
left
gonna set the
field. You
tone?
know what time it is.
I
What is
think you about to be
up
wild.
with the Philadelphia Eagles, brother?
Okay.
Come on. Come
Okay.
on. As a guy, I have that AJ Brown on my fantasy team. Obviously,
Okay.
he's been doing better lately,
Mm-hmm.
but the team has been struggling. And all the games I feel like he's played well. The team has lost 0-3 in their last. The Eagles are champions, though. I never
Mm-hmm.
take that away.
Right.
And people kind of doubt that. I mean, if you can have a rough season, you get to that playoffs, that championship DNA, something comes out. I've seen it a
Sure.
ton of times. So, but tell me what's going on right now with the Philadelphia Eagles. What is happening?
All right. So this is a sore spot for me. But and obviously we're on a 3 game losing streak.
Yes.
As far as the Eagles right now, I think personally, I think we have an offensive coordinator issue. And this has kind of been like a trend for the Eagles for the last 3 to 4 years. We have excellent coordinators. We had Shane Steichen, who's the head coach of the Colts right now, who
Mm-hmm.
was before Daniel Jones got hurt who was a front runner for coach of the year
Yep.
for the Colts. Before that, if you want to go back further than that, when we went to the Super Bowl the first time, it was very successful. We had Frank Reich, he ended up becoming the Colts head coach after a successful Super Bowl run there. And if the trend is we go to the Super Bowl and then we end up, because we go so deep in the playoffs. It's hard to hire an offensive coordinator because a lot
Yeah.
of those hirings go on during the playoffs. So in result, we end up hiring from within, and we had Brian Johnson, and we knew how that season went. Our offense was pretty poor, and unfortunately, I feel like we're going through the same cycle again. Kevin Matullo, piss poor. I think, I think. The play calling is not good at all. We run the same plays. If you look at the analytics, we run the most hitches. So it's like we're very predictable.
Yeah.
On first down, we run halfback dive every single time, and then we run go routes. And I thought Brian Johnson was bad, but Kevin Batullo is one of the worst offensive coordinators I've ever seen. And we have talent. Like it's no reason that we have the highest paid offense in the league, but we have the 24th ranked offense per play, right? That is, we got
Yep.
AJ Brown, we got Devontae Smith, and I understand everybody has a different opinion on Jalen Hurts. Some people may think he's a top five quarterback. Some people think he's maybe a mediocre quarterback. But I think with the resources that he has in the offensive line, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, I think that it's unacceptable for us to have a bottom half offense, quite frankly. And when you start to promote, I mean, we're in the NFL, and I think the Eagles, we're a great organization. I don't think we're an organization where you should be trying to learn how to become an offense coordinator. Like this is not like an internship. And sometimes I feel like we hire offensive coordinators that have no experience, never called plays before, and just because we have a great offensive line, just because we have great skill positions, they think, oh, we can get by. But I think that's our biggest problem right now. And then to double down on that, Nick Sirianni, his first year with us, he tried to call plays and he failed terribly. And by midseason, he gave play calling up. So to double down on that, it's like we have a head coach that can't, when we have offensive coordinators that's underperforming, he can't step in and mitigate that. So when you compound those things, we got a poor offense, man. We got a poor offense. We got great defense. Defense is stepping up. We got a lot of young players. I think we got one of the most talented offenses. Not talented offense, talented teams in the league. But I think coaching is important, and I think we're lacking at the offensive coordinator position, unfortunately, and it's starting to show last couple
Yeah,
games.
I think, I mean, first of all, that's very well said. I'm like, hold on, Jimmy's good at this, man. I gotta have Jimmy on more, man. Jimmy's good at this. Not too many not too many uhs. He was very profound in what you were just saying. So I mean, that's very good to hear. But yes, I totally agree. I think people from the outside maybe don't really understand how big of a deal coordinators are. They make such a big impact on what the team does, or what that that these skill positions and things of that nature do. And certain coordinators do certain things. I think of like Anthony Lynn as a coordinator. He would throw the ball to the running back a ton. Whenever Anthony Lynn was a coach or an offensive coordinator, I was trying to get his running back in the draft. So it's little things like that, or you think about like a Shanahan type of offense, or
Arthur
the
Smith.
Arthur Arthur Smith, or I'm thinking about just that Shanahan tree where you got who's the guy starts with a K,
And Kubiak.
the Kubiaks.
Yes,
So I'm just thinking of like these things matter, and I don't think people put enough emphasis on how
100%.
much it matters. And you think you can get by because you do have that talent. It's like, nah, put just as much money as you are into your players, into your coaching. So I totally agree there. And I think if AJ Brown catches that touchdown in the fourth
Oh,
quarter,
100% ball
then
game.
then
Ball
we're
game.
not even discuss. It's like, all right, he had a bad game, hurts, but what I mean, we're on the right. So gotta catch that ball,
But
AJB.
if we're gonna be honest, going into that game, they ran the most zone in the NFL. So I think that Jalen Hurts, that last pick that he threw, they're protecting the end zone. You can't make
Mm-hmm.
that throw. Obviously, the guy's going to drop back, and granted, some of those picks were tip balls, but some of those throws you just cannot make. And trust me, I try to defend Jalen Hurts in every corner, but at some point, like some of those throws, bro, like you can't make that throw in the end zone. And then a tip ball to AJ to end up being a pick.
Yeah.
AJ could have ended the game with that perfectly placed ball in the end zone, left end zone. but I definitely think Jalen Hurts definitely has to own a lot of that. Just if we're gonna be fair,
Yeah,
honestly,
I agree. But Hurts isn't perfect, but no quarterback is. But he does win you games.
agree
And
for sure,
I think one bad performance, like we've seen the greats have four
sure.
interceptions. Peyton Manning has thrown four interceptions. You've seen Brady throw 2 to 3 interceptions. So I don't put too much past it. But yeah, definitely need to win this upcoming week. You guys play. Who do you guys play this week?
I mean, we played the Raiders, and on top of we playing the Raiders, Kenny Pickett is expected to start.
Mm-hmm.
So
Former Raider.
the spread is 11.5. The odds is minus 950. So we're heavy favorites. So it's
Yeah,
definitely should be an easy game for us to pick up.
get
So
right game.
yeah, I feel good. I feel good. Definitely get right game. And if we're gonna be optimistic, our last few games to end the season, is definitely all good. Right, we played the Commanders twice. We have the Raiders, and then the only game that I think that should be extremely challenging, and we play the Buffalo Bills in Week 17.
Yeah, I think now is more so. I mean, you guys are going to be in the playoffs, right? You play the
Yeah,
Raiders
definitely
this
going to
week,
the playoffs
but it's about just resetting and getting your mind focused on what we're going to do well going into the playoffs, and that's how we're trying to win another
for sure.
championship. It's
For
not.
sure.
It's a week to week game, and the people, you know, I don't get too hype over one game, but yes, it was obviously on Monday Night Football, and everyone wants to talk about it. So
We seen Eli be the seventh seed and go to the Super Bowl and beat Brady. So it's
yeah,
definitely. I mean, getting into the playoffs is what I'm saying. We 0-0 when we get to the playoffs. We're very highly likely to get to the playoffs, win our division. So we can be optimistic from that perspective. But like I said, what I'm saying. Oh, to be honest and transparent, and it's been 13 weeks. If the offense can't get our cadence down, we can't get a good a good play calling down. It can't be just all of a sudden when the playoffs come that we can just click. We got to kind of establish a foundation, and just build on that. So hopefully, I will say that I have seen some differences. I feel like they did implement some new things in the offense this past game. We did see a lot more crossers, but I think that they implemented more crossers against a zone offense, which is the opposite. Versus in man, when you're facing man is when you want to run the crossers. When you're facing zone is when you want to run the hitches. So
mm-hmm.
obviously we made some adjustments because they've been getting so much flack, but you make the adjustments based on the defense you're playing, not just because you're getting a lot of feedback. So I'm optimistic. We'll see how the next few games go.
Agree there, my friend. I mean, while we're here, we're talking football, so I'm just
Hmm.
I'm just pulling up the slate for this week because I haven't even spoken about it here on Media
Sounds
Market
good.
Stream. It's 9:15 p.m. December the 11th. Right now, still tied 7-7. I seen a nice holding call on Drummond, number 81. Bring back the Bijan run because I'm playing Bijan in fantasy football. I don't need to smoke Bijan. Not this
And
week.
the
Take it easy,
fantasy
my brother.
playoffs for
Take it
sure.
easy. Yes, but I'm looking at the board this week and I mean, I'm gonna tell you some games that I like that I'm gonna be betting for sure
Hmm.
as we sort of get into like the What's the Line podcast version here. But
Okay.
yes, I mean, I'm looking at two dogs this week that I'll definitely be playing. I always talk about Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions,
Kind
and
of lost him for
they
a
haven't
second.
had they haven't had a great season this year specifically. But they do cover spreads, and Dan Campbell does at a high rate. He's about 60% or greater against the spread in any position that you put him in, except Thanksgiving games. I think he's like 2-3 against the spread there. But
Hmm.
I'm always willing to bet with him, and he's catching 6 points, 6.5 points against the LA Rams this week. Um, yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on this game? I'll definitely be betting Detroit. But what are your thoughts on Rams and Detroit? I think it probably would have been a bigger game if Detroit had a little better record. But what are your thoughts on that one?
It's funny you bring that up because I had a friend of mine talk about that game. I wasn't aware that the spread was minus 6.5 for the Rams because that's a big spread for the Rams. I think that's a lot of points for the Rams. But if you think about the Lions' resume, and I understand that like yeah, against the spread, that Dan Campbell's been doing really well, and Dan Campbell's actually been taking over play calling, so the Lions' actually offense has been looking a lot different. But when you look at the Lions, one of my big takeaways is what's one of their statement wins this year? Like, what's the best team they beat? And when I look down their schedule, if the best team that you can say they beat is the Dallas Cowboys, Uh, like,
Yeah,
what I'm saying? They haven't showed up and beat a lot of good teams. And if you take out divisional games are always 50-50. So I always try to take out divisional games
yeah,
because those division games are always competitive. But if you take divisional games aside, the best team that they beat was the Dallas Cowboys. I haven't seen the Lions step up and beat a team that's above average. And I definitely think that when I look at the Rams team, it's an above average team. I love the combination of Puka Nakua,
he's nice.
Devontae Adams with Stafford, Kyron Williams. I love that offense. I love the play calling from Sean McVay. The defense is solid. It's not top tier, but the Lions offense hasn't been immaculate. I mean, they show out versus bottom defenses, teams that's, not out of this world. But I haven't seen the Lions offense. I mean, even when they play the Eagles, I haven't seen the Lions step up and do anything special versus any teams that's considered a contender or a Super Bowl contender. And in my opinion, I consider the Rams to be a Super Bowl contender. And I just don't. I'm not a big believer of the Lions yet. And this is a big week. They can prove me wrong this weekend. But if I had to place a wager right now, I'm definitely leaning Rams.
Yeah, I agree with you from just a wins and losses standpoint. Absolutely. I mean, this Lions team, first of all, it's tough to do this every single year, right? It's tough to win at a high rate
For
every
sure.
single year. I mean, Commanders fans were on a high last year this time of year, right?
100%.
And now they're feeling like, oh, we just want to get that pick in the drive, let Daniels just relax. But no, I totally agree. The Lions this year have not been up to par that they have been the past few years. But when we're talking about the spread, which is 6.5 here, that the Rams are favored by, at
A
least at
lot of
this point,
points.
it's a lot
A lot
of
of points.
points, and I think that this offense. I mean, when you talked about the wins that the Lions have, the first one that came to me was the Ravens, and we know what the Ravens are now. Certainly, but back then, that was before the Lamar injury. I thought that was an impressive win at the time. But looking at hindsight now, maybe not so impressive, especially with that defense. I don't think their defense has been good all season. But
Hmm.
the Lions against the spread, all Dan Campbell's always been profitable, and he's catching 6.5 here. Dan Campbell as a road favorite, he is 60% against the spread, 15-10. If I'm winning six, I say the spread is how many times the guy's going to show up to work
What is that this year, though?
as a road dog. I mean, he's not a road dog. I mean, this year, I probably how many times been a road dog this year? Maybe once. Detroit this year, looking at NFC North there, and they're 1-3.
You know
One
what I'm saying?
and
I
three.
mean,
No,
they don't
you're
have Ben
totally right.
Johnson. This version of the Lions. That's the only thing I'm trying. Because I'm not trying to hate on the Lions because me personally, as an Eagles fan, though I consider them a rival. Obviously, I thought we was gonna play them last year in the playoffs, so I pay a lot of attention to the Lions. But like, minus Ben Johnson, this year Lions, this year Dan Campbell. What have they done for me to have faith in them? And that's where I'm at with it, unfortunately.
No, you're totally right. It's certainly a down year, and it is a down year against the spread as well. For Dan Campbell, and I mean, it doesn't. Sometimes I get not caught up with my numbers because I believe in them. That it just is what it is.
Hmm.
I'll ride with the totality of it. But yes, people do have off years, and it certainly looks like one as they lost both coordinators in the off season. So yes, the Rams definitely might cover this one. So let me think about betting that one. But one I will certainly be betting is
Okay.
Arizona Cardinals catching 9.5 versus the Houston Texans. I believe last time I looked, it was 9.5. Let me double check. Still 9.5 at Houston. I see maybe a 10 out there you can get. But I'll be betting with the Arizona Cardinals. I'll tell you why, but let me know what do you think about this game.
See, I love the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals been playing excellent football. I think Jacoby Brissett has been playing excellent. I love the emergence of Michael Wilson.
Yep.
He's been solidifying himself, especially the games that Marvin Harrison hasn't been able to participate. He's been showing out. I think I seen a stat yesterday say if every game if he was on pace for like maybe 2,000 yards if he played every game without Marvin Harrison, which is insane. So he's definitely been playing lights out. I think Jacoby Brissett's been playing lights out. Obviously, they're not a amazing team, but the Houston Texans aren't either. And I think that the Texans. are not a team that should be favored 9.5 points. Um, and especially versus a team that has against a team the Cardinals. I don't think their defense is bottom five. I don't think their offense is bottom five. So catching 9.5, I definitely love the lean that you have for plus 9.5. I love that. I think that's a good bet for
Yeah,
sure.
it's no lean, Jimmy. I am betting this game starts at one
I
o'clock
can
p.m.
back
at
that.
12:55. I will be on the Arizona Cardinals at the closing line only because that's the only way I
I'm
do.
on board.
And speaking of
I'm
the
riding with
closing
you.
line, the last so since 2019 at the
Hmm.
closing line, Arizona Cardinals as an under away as a road dog. Arizona Cardinals since 2019, 30, 14, and 2 against the spread,
Mm.
68.2%. I'm always willing to back an NFC West road dog. All NFC
You
West
bet that blindly.
teams blindly. No, no, no,
You bet that
legitimately,
blindly.
blindly. Like I don't even think about it. And they're
And
not
you
going to
live with the
cover every
results.
single one, right? But they're
And you
going to
live with
cover
the results.
about 7 out of 10 of those. So I'm fine with that. So yes, every NFC West team under their current regime, their current coach. You look at Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Mike McDonald. He just fit in right on. NFC West coaches. Um, yes, as a road underdog, they're extremely profitable. All of them, I'm willing to bet any of them in those spots. So, and I also think this might be like a really sucker line. So, Arizona Cardinals have lost by how many in a row? I think they've lost like 6 in a row, at least.
But they've been competitive outside of I think one or two games. They've been
Absolutely,
competitive. So I think they got
absolutely.
blown out. The one game where he might have broke the record for pass attempts.
Yep,
Which
they got blown out last week against the Rams.
and it's the Rams. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about
Exactly.
Super Bowl contender.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think they've been competitive. And like I said, it's the Texans. I mean, and don't get me started about CJ Stroud. He had one good game last week, but let's don't get me started about
Oh
CJ Stroud.
yeah,
CJ Stroud, he got a lot to show. He needs to earn back. He had a great rookie year, but since then, CJ Stroud has been mediocre to be honest with you. So I'm definitely don't have enough faith for him to minus 9.5. No,
yep.
absolutely not.
And I'll tell you
Absolutely.
guys something about and shout out our guy Rome. You know, we all locked in
Shout
with
out to
Rome.
Rome.
That's yes, a
Shout out to
pioneer.
Rome.
There's I don't even know there's a
The
media market
professional. The
stream without
professional.
Rome. And we're talking what's the line right now. He's a staple, and whatever he's got going on, we're always happy for Rome. But Rome will talk about just being like a sucker line. This being like a
Hmm.
what's going on? Why is this team favored by 9.5? I think so. When I was just talking about the Cardinals, Cardinals losing streak. They've lost 5 straight games. Their last win was November the fucking 3rd. November November the 3rd when they beat the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, and I had them then. It was a roll underdog. I bet them in that game. Of course I did.
Uh-huh.
I think that this is a spot that the Arizona Cardinals can win outright. And I see right now they're about plus 440 you can get in some markets.
Hmm.
This line right now, just 9.5, 10 points. It just seems like a really weird line. They're laying 10 at home, and it's like I don't know. I just don't feel like they should be laying 10. They
That's a
certainly
lot.
shouldn't be doing it on the road.
It's a
So they
lot for
would never
sure.
put a line to be 10 on the road
Oh,
for
for
this
sure.
Texans team. But 10 at home, 9.5, it just feels like a sucker line. And there's no way I'm betting. And if they cover it, God bless them. But I think I'm going to
Hmm.
sprinkle a little on the money line as well. And I rarely
Okay.
do that. I
Okay.
rarely do that. But definitely everything on the spread will be on the Arizona Cardinals.
I
Absolutely.
love it. Well, let me ask you a question since you like to put you on
Yep.
the spot. And we talking about sucker lines, and this is something I thought a line I thought was interesting. How about that minus 13 and a half for the Seahawks versus the Colts?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because I have my opinions, and also let me ask you one more question on top
Yeah.
of that. As you have your data in front of you, what's the best defense the Seahawks has beaten this year?
So let me pull up the Seahawks schedule. I could do that,
Hmm.
but I could certainly answer the first question easily. So there are some people that say like I've been doing the sports betting thing for some
Hmm.
time now, right? And then I've been talking about it for another. I've been doing that since 2019, really speaking about it, right? So the Seahawks, it doesn't even matter about the team. Sometimes it matters about the numbers. So they say some of the
Hmm.
great bettors bet numbers. They don't bet teams. They don't care about the
Hmm.
teams. They bet about the numbers, right? And some of my numbers are always against the spread. Always willing to bet. Hey, if I have a team that I know a guy is 65% against the spread in this spot, I'll bet him. I don't care. I don't care if he's down a quarterback and shit like that.
Hmm.
So one of the numbers that I've always been willing to take the dog on is the 13 and a half to 14 points. Any team laying 13 and a half to 14 points, I will automatically fade it. I have no problem with it at all. I don't need to know the teams. I don't need to know the situation.
Okay.
13 and a half to 14 points, I'm always willing to back the dog. And if you look, someone was just laying that. I feel like a week or so ago. The Rams. Well, someone was laying 14. I think the Rams were laying 14, maybe against Carolina. So I'm just looking at these spreads over the past few weeks. Um, but yeah. I think especially so. Are the Seahawks on the road this week?
I'm not sure if they're on the road,
It's cool, but
but
yeah,
I know
it
13 and a half is a lot for a team that hasn't beaten I think the best defense they might have beaten has been the Vikings.
13 and a half, 14, always willing to fade. I'll give you a great example. Detroit Lions, what we just discussed.
Hmm.
That game against Jameis, right? The line was 14. So that 13 and a half, 14, they were favored by 14 at home, the Detroit Lions were, which I feel like the Seahawks are probably at home. So I'm going to look at that. But yes, they were favored by 14 in that game. The Lions were. The Giants almost beat them outright with Jameis. Jameis went crazy, was catching passes for touchdowns, throwing them for touch. Wandale Robinson had a career day that day. So I'm
And
looking
that's
at this.
but Jameis is different, and that I
No
try to
doubt.
like because Jameis is a wild card, right?
Yeah. I
And
started him that week.
do we know if Phillips is really starting for the Colts?
He
And the Colts,
is.
if you look at the Seahawks, they've been blowing out the last couple teams. So I'm
Yeah.
50-50 on the sides. It's just it's a crazy dynamic, and that's why I wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah.
From one aspect, I'm like the Seahawks doesn't beat a good defense, and I feel confident the Colts have a very solid defense, right?
Absolutely.
And
Their coordinator.
they have
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, they have a good offensive coordinator. So I do think they can keep it close. I don't think they get blown out, and I haven't seen the Seahawks blow out a team that had a decent defense yet this season, unless you put value in the Vikings. But if we talk about the Vikings threw a lot of interceptions, so it was the defense that
Yeah.
resulted to them getting blown out. If we want to be honest, so that's my perspective based on
They
that
beat the
spread.
Texans. They beat the Texans. The Texans number one defense right now.
And so, how many interceptions did the quarterback throw in the Texans game?
Let me see now. Player stats. We had CJ Stroud. He threw one interception.
Okay, all right. So
59 rating. So I mean that's one. But I will say though, I mean, yeah, it's no way I'm betting the Seahawks in this game. It's no fucking way.
that's
And
where I'm at with it. I'm like
yeah,
Colts all the way, bro.
it's four. I
Colts all
mean,
the
the
way.
number 14. Listen, if you're out there, anybody listening, if this thing is on, if this thing is on, if you ever see a team laying 14 points, don't be
Just
the
fade it.
fool. Take the dog, take the underdog, and catch
100%.
the 14 in any sport. I
Just
don't
ride it.
care. It's a football number,
100.
as Rome would say. We fade football numbers. That 14 is no way I'm betting that. And when we talk about the Seahawks, what are they really good at? On the road. They're really good on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Not at home. This is
And
not
they're
the
at home.
Legion of Boom where they was doing they killing shit.
So they're at
Under
home and got 13 and a half. So it's not even 13 and a half on the road. It's at home and 13 and a half.
It's at home. They're laying 14. The spread is 14
Oh
now. It
man,
ain't
I'm
13
definitely
and a
taking
half.
Colts.
So the
Definitely
spread
taking
is
Colts.
14, and yes, but this team has not been good. They've been really good on the road. Let's look at Mike McDonald. He's been there what since last year, right? It
Couple
was his
years
first
now.
year. Absolutely, because you know why? He was laying 6 points, 6.5 against the Giants one of these weeks last season. And any coach, any rookie coach laying 6 points or more, any rookie coach in the
Oh, you got the
NFL
stats
laying six
for him.
points or
Drop the
more,
gems. Drop the
you
gem.
fade them. You fade them. I'll bring up the stat in just a minute. It's a really good stat though. And I put like 500. I put a nickel on the motherfucking
Mm.
Giants, and it came
That's
home.
shit cash.
Oh,
That's
it
love.
cash. Oh, it cash, baby.
Hey,
But
say you,
yes,
you trying to pay for people Christmas gifts on here. I love it.
no, no doubt, man. You know when it comes to
I
this,
love it.
man, I don't fuck around. I don't
Professionals.
play about the NFL
Meticulous.
specifically.
I love it, bro.
Meticulous, yes. But we're talking NFC West. I want to talk the so this is Mike McDonald, home favorite. Mike McDonald's a home favorite. He's 5-3 against the spread. As a home team, 6-9 against the spread. So we obviously we know he's favored here, but he hasn't been favored by 2 touchdowns at home. So
A lot of points, man.
yes, 3 games under for this 40% against the spread as a home team. Mike
Decent
McDonald is,
defense.
and
Jonathan Taylor.
yeah, I definitely like, especially in the second half. I look to Lou Almaramo. He's the defensive coordinator for the Colts. He was with the Bengals. I like to kind of
Backdoor
I
covers.
like to kind of fade the teams that he's facing in the second half. He does really good with second half adjustments. So I expect the Seahawks not to score many points in the second half. So yeah, I think that's a really good number, a really good sucker number, sucker bet that you talked about. That 14. If you're out there, do not lay that 14. I'm letting y'all know right now. I expect the Colts to cover. So you know what? I'll give that out as a best bet. That and the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona
Look at that.
Cardinals plus
Look
the
at you
nine
pulling
and
the
a
best bet
half.
out of you.
Arizona Cardinals plus the 9.5. Of course, that's just we do that every time. Road dog, NFC West road dog. But the Colts catching the 14 points. Yes, we're gonna do that as well. Best bet. So that's two here from you guy Media Marcus, and those are the only games that kind of caught my eye this week.
Cool wins. Respect it.
You saw what?
No, I respect that. I love all those bets that you gave me.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
some good stuff
I can
right
get I can
there.
definitely get on board with both of those Colts, Cardinals.
Yeah, we don't want to get too crazy on the board, man. It's the
We're on the
NFL.
fence
This
about the Rams. I'm leaning
No, no, no.
Rams.
We're
You
gonna leave that
leaning?
alone. We're gonna leave that alone. Leave that alone.
For
Come on, man. I don't need to force it. I don't need to force it. All right, we're here. Media Market Stream live, December the 11th, 2025,
sure.
9:34 p.m. 26 minutes from 10 p.m. So let's talk. All right, let's get off sports. We talk some sports right now. It's still, what's the score right now in this NFL game? It
7-7.
is
7-10.
10-7.
7-10.
10-7. Tampa Bay is up. Okay. Bijan not going too crazy. All right, that's chill. That's chill. I got the under on Bucky Irvin, rush attempts 15 and a half. I don't know if anybody else got it. That was a tough number to get. I got it before it went to 14 and a half. He got 7 right now, so we'll see. See where that lands. Give some NBA scores as well right now, real quick. In Media Market Stream, Pelicans up 80-79 over the Portland Trail Blazers. I think the Pelicans are due for a win. So Derek Queen, do your thing, my boy. The Clippers up 68-65 over the Houston Rockets. Let's see, Kawhi Leonard 17 points, 5 rebounds, has 1 assist. 4 steals for Kawhi Leonard. All right, that's really nice. Kevin Durant and Jabari Smith Jr. 11 points each. Sangoon with 15 and 9 rebounds so far. They're in the third quarter right now, so that's the latest in the NBA. And but yes, let's talk the challenge, my
Come
boy.
on,
The
Paul.
challenge season 41. That's the reason I brought you on. But Jimmy could talk his stuff, man. He knows everything. So Jimmy's a nice guest to have. But yes, let's talk the challenge 41. I know the reunion came on yesterday. I have
Yeah.
not watched it. I saw
Ah,
like the
okay.
first 10 minutes, but whatever. It's a reunion. It's a reunion of every other episode. So I know all the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And we obviously saw who won. So spoiler
Mm-hmm.
alert, if you have not seen the challenge finale because you've been under a rock the last 8 to 9 days, and you're into it, please look away and go watch now.
This
All
is the
right,
time to
but
turn the stream
I'm
off for sure.
assuming that if you're watching, at this point, the challenge it would already happen like 8 days ago. So you've either seen it or you don't care and you're just rocking with us. Media
For
Market
sure.
Stream, Media Markets, and Jimmy. But yes, we're gonna talk Olivia. Olivia and Jeremy got it done. They're the
For
challenge
sure.
champions. That was a very
Well
tough
deserved. For
final,
sure.
bro. Well deserved. Like that was a very tough final. Like I don't be sitting around watching this show thinking like, oh, these guys are bullshitting. Like no, this was tough. This was very tough. But what did you think about the final?
Uh-huh.
And let me know. We gotta just talk your thoughts on the entire season. I'll ask you about Bananas, Turbo, all of those people as well.
Okay. Yeah. So if we're gonna start with the final, I think it's one of my favorite finals out of all the seasons for multiple reasons. I think this is one of the finals. I think they were very intentional about making it a final that make it gave everyone an opportunity to win. Because if for example the first day of the final, the only disadvantage that you would have got was lack of sleep.
Yeah.
because everybody else started at the same time then on day two.
Hmm.
So if we look back to season 40 and when we seen Jordan just take off and
Yeah,
be a lead for just from the very beginning, and then from when we started watching that show, I mean continuing to watch the final, we was basically watching just to find out who was gonna come in second and third, right?
right.
And so I think this was a final where we was able to see that, okay, we've seen a team that was doing really, really good, but they didn't get a huge advantage going into day two. So I think that this is one of the finals in a long time that they gave you a strong opportunity. There wasn't like a huge head start to anything like that. That allowed one team to have a huge advantage, and I think that was huge. And also, I think like the climate, as far as definitely the altitude, that it was intense. It was definitely intense. Um, Very challenging. So I think it was definitely very, very challenging, but also at the same time gave everyone an opportunity to win. We saw a lot of different lead changes, and I'm not sure you've been following for a long time.
Yeah,
It hasn't been a lot of finals that we was able to see when we've seen a whole lot of lead changes
right.
and finals. We've seen one team usually be in the head, or maybe two teams, but we've seen a lot. We've seen teams being fourth place catch up. We've seen a lot of teams in third place catch up.
Yeah,
So it was very entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed this final. We have different opinions on when they had the opportunity to switch partners. But like I said, if we just, definitely think Jeremy and Olivia definitely well deserved winning the final. Um, and we found out who's built for the final and who are pretenders for sure.
yeah.
To
And
be
speaking
honest,
of that, I mean, I think so. That's one of the things that we kind of like touched on briefly. Michaela.
yeah,
I listen. I like Michaela from the standpoint, black woman. Like
100%,
she went Survivor. She be popping her shit in
hundred
them
percent.
confessionals too.
Oh, for sure.
But she she be popping her shit. But I
As if
also
nobody gonna see it too. The way she be dragging it.
exactly. But I also look at her as kind of like, all right now, like you wanted to get Jeremy out, just stand on that. Like
Hmm.
don't like kind of
Hmm.
hide behind it. Like oh, it's good for everyone. Like no, of course it was good for everyone. Jeremy won, but like stand on it that you said it. You wanted to happen.
Hmm.
And also like I don't know, this is too fun. She did finish this final.
Hmm.
Her last final, she did not finish. She got hurt and could not continue. But this one, she was very close to not continuing and
Hmm.
almost got. I mean, what do you think about that? Some people listen. I've already admitted it. I don't think I can be up there hiking up 10, whatever, however many miles that they did. That's
Sure,
not what I'm built for, especially at this
sure.
moment of my life. I mean, if I
Hmm.
train my hardest, still, I don't know if I'll be built for that. So I don't want to like do that. But we are watching the show. These are competitors. They are professionals. Do you think she's built to win a final, Michaela?
So I wanna give her just a little bit of grace as just because she was injured the last few days going into the final.
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, if you sprained your ankle and you was able to finish the final versus, to be honest, Theo couldn't finish the final, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I do want to give her grace from that perspective that on a sprained ankle in the altitude in the cold, she was able to at least finish the final, which I'll give her kudos to that. But like you said, based on her track record, the last two outings, um, they're definitely underperforming. Definitely left a lot to be desired. Um, but I also feel like her partner, he accepted that as well. Because I mean, if you had a partner that was injured and you had the opportunity to switch partners, I understand your perspective that
mm-hmm.
it's a big risk, right? And I get that. And it's $425,000 on the line. And what's the caveat, right? And the caveat is if you stake a claim to switch partners and you don't win, it's a 5 minute delay. No pun intended, but she's a
Right.
walking 5 minute delay. She can't
Yeah,
she can't run. She, you know what I'm saying, she couldn't participate in swimming in the cold. She could, I mean, hiking up the mountain, she's moving at a snail's pace. But kudos to her finishing. Like I said, I think that, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna give her kudos for that. But if I had the opportunity to switch partners, I definitely would have took the opportunity no matter what the risk may have been.
yeah, and I think I mean definitely she finished. So really, like, absolutely kudos to her. I didn't think she was about to finish, and I was like, yo,
Yeah, me too.
this isn't going to look great. Like, especially all the shit you could put it like a collage together. So just talking all this shit, and then
Mhm.
being like, yo, she hasn't finished the final yet. So she did do that. I mean, they came in second, so like that's she got paid for that. Like they got bread all that absolutely.
Hmm.
But I do wonder, like no doubt, will she get hurt again? It will she be able to kind of, get over this hump? Because when you go into other challenges, when you come back to challenges, they bring up the old stuff, right? They'll bring up, and someone's going to be in their confessional, and they're going to be like, "Yeah, Michaela's cool and all, but I'm not sure I want to be her partner in the final because you've seen her in those two finals before, and she didn't seem like that she could finish. And although she did, I think I want a better part. I want somebody that's going to like keep going without getting hurt. So I think that's going to come up,
And I get that perspective, right? But it also, like,
especially with
outside
these
of
young
like,
bulls. You've seen
and
Gabe.
that's I think that's
You've
the
seen.
difference, right? I think appreciate you. I think the difference is these new fresh meat, they're really athletic. And I think if we look at the previous, what I'm saying, we have newcomers, they haven't been as athletic as we've seen. I think this has been the most athletic new class that we've seen in a very long time. But outside of that, if you look at the past champions, and obviously you got Jordan, that's, what I'm saying, very, very athletic, and he's been good in a lot of different things. But Johnny, I don't think Johnny's although he has the most championships, I don't think that he's the most athletic person we've seen
No,
on the
he's
championship.
not. No,
And we've seen
no.
him get carried by Kenny. We've seen him get carried by Evan, and we've seen him leverage the relationships he had with Kenny and Evan into those alliances that carried them in the seasons that preceded that.
Yep.
And I think that the one thing about Michaela, and just to combat your idea of like, do you want to be a partner with Michaela? One thing I will say about Michaela is she's strategic and she's bold about her strategy. And sometimes as individuals, they're scared to make big moves, or they may talk a big game, but when they're in a position where they can make that big move, they don't stand on it. And I,
Yeah.
and I don't think that about Michaela. I think she's very strategic. I think she, what I'm saying, she's thinking, she has foresight. And so I think from that perspective, if I was a challenger, she does provide um, value in that position, as far as being someone that, what I'm saying, you have on your team. But, what I'm saying, also in the same breath, I understand how like her beef with Olivia, and how she can rub a lot of other people the wrong way, and how that you have to take the good with the bad as well.
Yeah. No doubt. I think she plays a similar game when you talk about strategic. Killer Cam. Killer Cam, like she would call the shots and be bold about it, and she will win them
Great example.
eliminations too.
Great
And
example.
she still hasn't won a championship either. So, but she's come second, and I thought it was definitely similar aligned vibes. So, all right, so we
But
got that.
Cam's more
Yep.
athletic than Michaela.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no. I'm taking Killer Cam for sure, no doubt about
100%.
it.
Okay.
I'm taking Killer
We get
Cam.
that out
Yeah,
the
but
way.
when we talk about,
No
but even
Cam slander is tolerated.
no, oh no, absolutely, yeah,
Now,
Killer Cam.
Leroy, I'm tired of seeing Leroy.
Chill, man. No, we know
Leroy
what
can
Leroy
relax.
is, though. We know what Leroy is, and Leroy's just good for the show. He's good for morale.
Leroy and Anissa, they can stop coming on the show if we
Come
want to keep it a buck. If we
on,
want to keep it a
brother.
buck.
Come
If we
on,
want to
brother,
keep it a
man.
buck.
What you mean they
If
can
you,
stop
hey,
coming on
brother,
the
man, I'm
show?
tired of rooting for these people to keep disappointing me.
No, how are they disappointing you, brother?
What has Anissa or Leroy done to make you feel good about rooting for them?
Bro, they're good stories. Anissa's a good story.
A
What do you?
good story.
Yes,
Ew.
Anissa's a good story.
Ew.
Now Leroy, Leroy
Good
brings the
story.
funny. Leroy, I'm not saying that they're going to win, brother. They're not going to win. I would never put money on that. That's like taking the Browns to win a championship. Pre Shador, please don't kill me, any Shador stacker backers. But I mean, no, I think that they just bring like a certain.
Yeah.
It's like bringing Veronica on. So they should never bring Veronica back either.
Now, no, because Veronica's old and I mean, she was always unathletic, but I also think before you go into that, I think these are two different eras, because I think that the vets back then in that particular era, they had such a strong bond. These unathletic women and these unathletic men had such strong alliances that they was able to, like, even Robin, Veronica, they was never extremely athletic, but they was able to make it far in challenges because of their relationships and their in their alliances. And I think that as we transition into the new era, I think it's definitely more leaning towards these more athletic people. And
Absolutely.
and MTV, they definitely don't want nobody that's super athletic like Jenny. We're not going to see Jenny ever again. Jenny don't drink. All she does is get on the show and she work out. They don't want nobody like that. This is going to kill the challenge. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? But at the same time, like we don't need to see Veronica no more.
No,
I'm cool with
I
like Brad and Mark and the people that
those,
stay in shade.
those are
You know what I'm saying?
champions though, right?
You
They
know what I'm saying?
won.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't want to see. You want to see Veronica again, bro?
Bro, yes, because let me
You
tell
know
you
what I want to
why.
see? If we want to talk about vets, see who I want to see. I
Who
want
you
to see
want to see?
Coral.
Coral, listen, I don't want to see.
Coral,
Everybody
hey,
always wants to see Coral, right?
because
Everybody
Coral used to
always
pop her
they want to
shit. That's
see and
why.
hear from Coral, right?
Yeah, where's she at?
Until you really hear and see from. Because I've heard from her recently, and then like at first it was cool, and then she started talking a little more, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this is fucking Coral. Like, do I really want to hear from her? She's the same person. Like, it's like, oh, like all right, that's cool. A little snippet is cool, but then it's like, oh, I actually got to watch a 3 month show of Coral, who probably come back on and think she's the queen of the challenge and everybody should bow down. But no, I think that you're totally right. I get what you're saying, but this is still a TV show at the end of the day. We're still here to entertain. You know what Anissa does? She gets in her feelings, and when Ashley Mitchell goes against her, she's gonna pop back off, and then she's gonna blame Nani for not sticking up for her, and then her and Nani are gonna fight. Nani's never won, but Nani athletically, I think Nani's improved a ton. So I think she would have done well in
I'll
that
give you
final,
that.
honestly.
I don't think she would have done. I mean, me personally, I think. Hey, yeah, you
They
asked the
played
wrong
Connect
person.
Four. They just,
Yeah,
I think
yeah, it
athletically,
was
she could have
Connect Four.
gotten
I
there.
give you that, and trust me, I get you. And like I said, I do agree with the point that Nani has proved dramatically from the person that she was when she first entered the challenge, and she definitely got a lot more athletic. But do I ever think I'm gonna see a Nani be first or second place in the final? Absolutely the fuck not. Two, now that we're on the subject, how do you feel about her letting them know before that one of the biggest explosions, I mean, biggest pivotal moments on the challenge this season, letting them know that they were getting sent in? How do you feel about that scenario?
I feel that from a viewer watching at home, a super fan of the show like you and I are,
Mm-hmm.
you got to keep it to yourself, right?
100%.
And you got to separate the game from personal, right? I'm sure they're friends at her and Aviv outside of this, but you got to keep it game from personal. But I also feel that I don't know what it's like to be locked in some challenge house for 3 months without my phone and can't connect to the people that I love. These and you start to feel like you ever like hear like people a lot of people like the Michigan coach, for instance, right? They like sleep with people that they work with, right? They're around these people
100%.
every
I
single
get that.
day, and you
I
feel
get
like
that.
you're with them, and you might owe them. You work with them, and you might owe them that. And maybe
I
she
get that.
felt that in that moment, and she's a veteran, and this is the challenge. And she wants to have integrity when she comes on and again and again. And I don't think she should have done it, but she did do it, and she had to suffer the consequences. And Jeremy certainly benefited, right? Because he would have been going into elimination, and he got to escape that.
I mean, I think Jeremy, and I think this is just to bring it back to a conversation that me and you had offline about when they had the opportunity to switch partners in the finals. I think Jeremy he made a decision like I was going in regardless, and he really made the decision. And I don't think a lot of people just realize to put it in perspective. He's decided to say, "Hey, either we're going in or you're going in," which is his partner.
Yeah.
And how do you got and if you put it in that perspective, he was very selfish to the point where he was able to put his female partner in the fire, knowing that hey, I have the opportunity to save myself because I know if I go stake a claim, I'm going to take Olivia. They're not going to vote me in, and instead of me and you both going into a elimination, only you're going to go in elimination. And she was okay with it, and everybody. And I mean, ultimately, he ended up winning. But also, like it's like, all right, I went from we're in this together. We went through this whole season together to the I'm gonna just try to find a way out. There's also another avenue. It's like, hey, if I can get a way out of here and be like, hey, I don't have to go in there, and you can just go in there. I'm gonna just take that avenue too. And she was okay with it, but also from a man perspective, I think this is the other way is like, hey, you decided from us to be like, you know what? Let me find out how I can save myself and just send you in there. How do you feel
Hey,
about that?
I feel that that's the rules of the game that TJ
100%.
plays this season, and these are not like challenge vets. And he had no. I mean, I'm sure he has some loyalty to Aviv, the same way that Turbo has
Sure.
that loyalty to Nani. I mean, even though Turbo's a psycho man, but no, he just did what he had to do, and like he just played the game the way it was supposed to be played. And we talked about these newcomers, and yo, I'm not. I don't want to be this guy that hasn't won in 10 seasons or whatever. Look, I'm in it right now. We're close to the final. He did what he had to do, and I have no blame. I mean, I feel what you're saying as a
I
man, but
respect it.
like
I respect it for sure.
yeah, because like we just talked about Nani, when you're in this 3 months thing and you have no phones and you've been a veteran of the challenge and the integrity of the game, and it's like I'm gonna tell her, but then you got the young person coming on, Anthony Edwards. I think of like playing hoop. I don't give a
Mm-hmm.
fuck about that shit. I gotta look out for me. I'm trying to win. I ain't
100%.
think about the mother. I'm not thinking about no
100%.
vets. So the
100%.
mentality is definitely different, man. I love it though. Because when you think about someone like Darrell, right? Darrell was really good
That's my
for a really
boy.
long time, no doubt. And he should have won the ruins. He should have won it.
Good. He was at a point where he was undefeated.
He was about to win the ruins, bro. I had no doubt about it. But he gets into a fight, a brutal fight, beat the hell out of Brad. That was
Who's your favorite
2020.
challenger, by the way? Just to put you on the spot. Just to
My
put you on the
favorite
spot.
challenger, Banana. I got a
I know
top
you're not about to
three,
say
and
bananas.
that's not bananas.
That's crazy. I'm gonna
But
say
it
that's insane.
is. It is someone of his ilk, and it's Wes. It's Wes. And you want to know why it's Wes, brother? It's not because
Yeah.
he's the
Tell
most
me. Tell me
athletic.
why it's West. Tell me why it's
It's not
West.
because he's the most athletic. Although in the ruins, yo, you go back and watch
I
the
mean,
ruins.
in West Prime, he was extremely
Wes was
athletic
bulk. Yo, Wes on the ruins. I was like, yo, this
when he was
dude.
with Johanna.
Yes, and he had already won a championship then. If you watch the ruins, Wes
Oh,
came in like, bro, I'm the
100%.
motherfucking man. Y'all dudes is all
100%.
gang, and
And it was
I'm the
nobody
man
fucking with
though.
him.
And I won
100%.
Dolo. I didn't need a team. Wes was that guy at one point. So Wes
100%.
is my favorite challenger, but not because he's the most athletic, not because he has the 3 championships, but obviously I need some championships for you to be my favorite, but because he's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so entertaining and he talks this shit that I know in his heart of hearts he doesn't believe, but he
Mm-hmm.
says it and he'll just say it like he doesn't give a.
Yep.
Even on Traders when he left, and I want
Yep.
to talk Traders before we get out of here too, but he was just like, "Yo, like, all right, I'm no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm actually better than all of you at what you do, like from
And
the
pop his
statistical
shit.
standpoint, because he was
Popping
talking
his shit.
about his championships, his elimination wins, and all the percentages and all that. So he's always been entertaining. He's always been willing to like be sneaky and throw in a Kenny when Kenny was on the show. Like he thought Kenny and him like we bygones, no bygones. I'm throwing you in. Or even in like Total Madness when he worked with Johnny, and it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
but what did he
One of his
do?
partners,
He
right?
threw himself down in elimination. Why? Because this is a fucking TV show. And Wes is my favorite challenger because I know he understands. Obviously, Banana does too. He knows it's a TV show and he does it. But Wes is like conniving and just like a little jerk. So, yes, Wes is my favorite challenger. What about you? Said Darrell?
Um, I know we want to entertain the fans, but unfortunately, uh, Wes is my favorite challenger.
Oh,
That's my dog. That's
look
my
at
dog.
that.
That's my motherfucking dog. So I love everything you said.
Yes.
Just to piggyback, I mean, he pop his shit. And there was a point where he was way more athletic than everybody else. He was an amazing swimmer, which I think that
He's an
in a
amazing
lot of
swimmer. Yep.
these, and I think that that's a lot. I mean, in a lot of these challenges, the people that swim the best set themselves apart in a lot of these challenges. Um, and I mean, I love the cockiness. He's extremely strategic. 100%,
Even when it doesn't work, it's like I tried.
and he gonna down that sword.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I love everything about Wes. And me and my wife, I'm saying, we watch the show together, and she hates that I love Wes, but I'm like, that's my dog. Like, I mean,
So much history.
even when he looked crazy, I'm like, hey, I respect it. Whatever it is, what it is. Fuck
I
it.
I
You know what I'm
think
saying?
about his rookie season when they kept throwing him in elimination. Him and
I'm
Casey went into
saying,
every single elimination. But I think about the fact like his strategy was when they kept doing the same like elimination. It was like nobody else was around. They didn't know what it was, but they had
Hmm.
the experience of being there. But if you remember, it was like, oh, if you solve this puzzle, you could take 10 pounds off. Whatever. He's, I don't. We're not doing that shit. Let's go. We're just trying
Yeah,
to get to the finish line.
yeah, I
And
remember that exact
and
time.
that strategy, it might not work. He used that in like a USA, and it didn't work. And it's like that's fine. But he did that and he got past it so many times. Like so little stuff like that I love. Like because
100%.
even like Jordan, he's super strategic, right? When you think about
Oh, for
him
sure.
versus Josh with the tug of war, and he has one hand, but just super strategic and using that. So I love that we both love Wes. I didn't know
Nah, nah. Yeah, you didn't know that. And so when you said that, it kind of, you know what I'm saying, it made me smile. It made my heart smile. That's my
Yeah.
boy.
All right,
That's my
before we get
boy.
out of here, I mean,
For sure.
I want to talk. Well, just overall, what are your thoughts on season 41? Was it good to have these newcomers come in? They're going against
Oh,
CT. Everybody hates CT now.
yeah.
CT's revived from it. You see him working out every day and trying to come back. So, what are your overall thoughts on 41?
Overall, I think it was a great season. I think I thoroughly enjoy the all the newcomers. Like Will's crazy. But I think Will's athletic, and I think like I mean, in the beginning, I'm be honest with you, I was a Will fan, because I just thought he was athletic, and he had like he presented in the beginning, he just wanted to win, right?
Mm.
And he didn't want to be cheated in no way, and you didn't see the reunion, so I won't spoil any of that for you, so I'll let you enjoy that. But it showed other reasons how crazy he is. But I definitely enjoy a lot of newcomers. I felt like this was one of the first classes, the new classes or freshman classes, that was a lot more athletic. I think Theo's partner, I can't, her name's slipping my
Adrian.
mind right. Adrian, she did immaculate this season. So I love all the newcomers because usually the newcomers they're naive and they allow the vets to control the game in the beginning. Unfortunately, a lot of times when the vets control the game in the beginning, when the rookies, by the time they get wise, it's too late
Yep.
and the vets can
Every
control
time.
their game. It happens every single time. It's been that way for years. I thought this was the first season that the newcomers was like, nah, fuck that shit. We you know what I'm saying? We're moving on our own accord. Johnny, you gotta fucking go. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got his ass the fuck up out of there. And they was able to compete. I do think Turbo, it was nice seeing him, you know what I'm saying, get humbled a little bit because he was popping it. But I understand at the same time that once you see his partner was amazing and
Yes.
Turbo with a great partner, oh man, it's tough to when somebody's continuing to win challenges, how to get them out. Because if they continue to win challenges, they continue to build alliances. And it makes it that much harder to get that person out because once you take that shot and you miss, they on your head for the next couple, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
eliminations and things like that. And I think that's the hardest part about trying to, you know what I'm saying, make strategic moves. So I think this is one of the better seasons. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, I'm looking for, and like I said, I love the final that it gave everyone a equal opportunity. The only thing I just wish that more people, I think the challenge was, I think they had a great idea trying to give people opportunity to switch partners. And I just think that I mean, obviously the most pivotal one when they switched partners in the end was, you know what I'm saying, it was a huge deal breaker for how the final ended up playing out. But I just wish more people took that opportunity, and I love that extra caveat to the challenge. And so I'm looking forward to challenge 42. I'll be honest with you, it can be a bad season or good season. I'm always, you know what I'm saying, interested into the next season. And like you say, I'm always interested in traders, the next season of trades as well. I am a little down that they don't let, you know what I'm saying. I think traders became too popular to the point where they don't let the challenge people, you know what I'm saying, participate anymore.
Yeah. What is up with that? Like, is that
Yeah, I
a
think it's
TV
just
thing?
different networks. It always come down to money.
It'll
You
make
know
it
how
work.
that go.
Yeah,
You
they'll
know how
make it
that
work.
go. No, it
Yeah,
is
no
what
doubt.
it is.
I think overall, my thought, like when I think about step away and think about season 41 of the challenge, the young people came and they represented, and I think about some of the older vets and really just having to like step their game up because CT right now is on a mission. But
Oh,
what did it take
100%.
CT to get on that mission? And see, we've seen CT do this with weight. Like, listen, I battle weight myself, so like, but we've seen CT. get on the mid, but not like this. Like they've
Oh,
motivated
he be
him, and
locking in.
I think that that's great because CT is still great and he could dominate a final. And I think about the Leos, just coming out, and they were really like gun hold on, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We don't care. We're not rocking with the vets. I think about all the drama that Nani was in this season. She was in a ton of drama, and that, like I said, this is a TV show. And
Hmm.
Nani, we gotta have her back on. Maybe if it's an exes, have her with the guy. What's his name again?
Will.
Yeah, Will. Have her with Will, something like that. But I think about it was a really good season, and I think the fact that we could sprinkle in some of these young, because these the vets are only getting older, and they're not like too old to the fact that they can't
Yeah.
perform.
Yeah.
However, I think that they are like, yo, you if you want to be great, I'm thinking about NBA, right? If you want to be great at 36, right, like LeBron or whatever, like you have to really put more time
Hundred
into it
percent.
than maybe you did before, right?
100%.
Maybe more rest than you did before. Maybe so all of those things. And I was very happy to see Olivia win. I think that it
Yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah.
Jeremy from the first day. I knew that he could certainly
They
win,
should
and
have
he
got his ass up out of there, to be honest with
absolutely,
you.
but bananas would have
But it's
got that
hard.
done.
It's
But
hard. It's hard.
but yeah, I think that we'll see the vets step up their game going forward, especially
Okay.
the vets that really want to win still and put another trophy on their mantle, like a CT, a bananas, whatever. And these have never been the most athletic. Well, CT was super athletic at one point, but yeah, I think that we definitely want to see that. But yeah, Traders is also coming out. This will be the last thing we touch on. But what are your thoughts this upcoming season of Traders? Mama Kelsey is on. I know that,
Let's see
but
that.
we can't have any worse traders than we did last season, though. Those were the worst
100%.
traders I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
Boston Rob. It was the
Danielle. But
Danielle. Oh,
I will say
Danielle.
I'm a Boston Rob fan. I am,
Listen,
you
I
know what
got
I'm
to see some
saying?
more of Boston Rob. I
I am
haven't. That was the
a,
only thing I know from him.
oh, so after I seen that, I ended up going down a rabbit hole and watching everything that Boston Rob was on, and
Okay. No,
I'm a
I'm
Boston
sure
Rob
he's
fan.
strategic as fuck. They were scared of him.
But Danielle and then the girl with the blonde
Bob the
hair, yeah,
drag queen as well.
yeah, yeah,
They
they was
were
bad,
they
man.
were bad.
Yeah, it was bad, yeah. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I think Portia's on the next
Oh
one too.
yeah, you know
That's
it,
my boo.
baby.
You know,
I'm
that's my
in
boo.
there. I might
That's my
have a
boo.
little. I'm gonna review
Yeah,
every episode,
that's
so
my
please
boo.
feel free to come on. But I'm
For
gonna do
sure.
like a
Hey, don't be a stranger. I'm
yeah,
trying to pop
yeah.
out
I'm
with
gonna
trouble
do like a
niggas. You know
30
what I'm
second. What was Portia wearing on this episode? 30. Let me
saying?
check it
Hey,
out. You know what I
that's
mean?
the only segment I'm trying to be a part of. Just let me
Me and
know, bro.
Marcus Stream. We here.
Just
It's
let me know,
10:05
brother.
p.m. We're talking traders, but yeah. So Portia will be on though. But what else you thinking?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to. I mean, I think like I have a lot of opinions, and I mean, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what's the best strategy when playing the show because even if you can't be too on to trying to find the traders or your ass get cut, you get smoked that night, and if you too green, like I haven't like cultivated what's the best strategy for the show yet, and it's been what 3 or 4 seasons now. I
Yeah,
still haven't cultivated what the best strategy is. And you can tell me what you think the best strategy is, being on a show and not being a trader. Because I've seen so many different people go about it. I mean, I think if I was on the show, I would want to be the trader because it's so hard. Because if you get the being like getting figuring it out too much, and yeah, it'll smoke your ass, and you miss one, you lose one challenge, and your ass is out of there.
yeah. I
So
think
it's just tough, bro.
all of those things though make it a great show. That's what makes
Hundred
it so
percent,
good.
100%,
So I
hundred
thought
percent.
about like the fact I was like maybe they'll have another traders where like we don't know as the viewer like maybe they'll have like a simultaneous stream like you can watch either this version or this version where we don't know and then we'll all be going crazy at home, right?
The producers
Um,
need to hit you up because that's a whole caveat. I
yeah,
don't
like
think they've
that.
been thinking
Everybody
about
would be invested
for
then, right? You
sure,
could have people calling in or would
for
type
sure,
in whatever,
hundred
really
percent.
going back and forth. But obviously spoilers would be out there though, so that would be tough. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that it's a very tough position to be in either way, right? Like
Hmm.
me, I'm a cool laid back guy. Like no matter where I am, like I'm not going to be doing too much. Unless you get a
Hmm.
few drinks in me or something, then it's maybe it'd be another story. Now I'm dancing,
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. But
Yeah.
I'm a pretty laid back guy, right? But we're in traders. Nobody knows me, right? No, maybe
Hmm.
you know like one person, another person you work with on the show, right? But they're
Hmm.
like, this guy's too laid back. he's too laid back. He's got to be a trader. So
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'm with you, man. I don't know the best way
I
to
don't
do it.
know.
I
Yeah,
think,
it's tough.
yeah, I think there is no like I think the best thing to do is to not over assume, right? Like not
Right.
kind of go all body language, like body language. Like
Don't.
soon as
Yeah.
they like give
Don't
you
be
like a
hell
block,
bent.
yeah, like don't do that. Like yo, just play the game, see everything for what it is. Don't say, oh, I think it was like Trishelle on that first season. I think it was like another drag queen or
Don't get overly invested in
yeah, it
one
was like,
person.
oh
One
well, they
percent.
said something. I thought that was a little weird. And it's like, yo, all I said was I didn't like your outfit. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think don't get
Hey, they
don't
got you out of there over the outfit too. Like it's
bro.
petty,
They will,
bro.
bruh,
It's
they
petty,
will
bro.
get you out of there for the smallest
That's why I'm
things.
like,
Like
I don't know what you should do on that jump, bro. I don't
yeah,
know what you should do on that jump, but
we shall see. But yeah, Peacock can hit me up, man. I'll come.
yeah, man,
Fly me
bro,
out.
they
Come
didn't
out.
make you a associate producer or something, bro.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm available.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
available. All right, it's December the 11th, 2025. We just went for an hour. Shout out my guy Jimmy,
For
Media
sure. I
Market
appreciate you having me,
Stream.
man. I had a
No doubt,
blast.
man.
So,
This was good. And we had to like get the full totality. We had to talk
hmm
Eagles. We had to talk challenge. We had to talk the history of the challenge. And
hmm
any
so
challenge that comes up, we could do more of these traders as well. I'll be here reviewing every episode because
100%.
yes, that's good stuff. But
Tap
man,
in with my
appreciate you.
boy, bro. Media Marcus, bro. Best content out there, man.
Yeah, we here daily.
And he
Appreciate
consistent every
everybody.
day. He out here
Yeah,
every day,
man.
man.
Gotta show up, man.
Yeah,
That's
tap
kind of
in.
what I'm trying to separate myself. Be consistent, be every day.
That's
Be a
hey,
part
that's
of people's news
75% of the
cycle.
battle right there, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in. I'm gonna end this, so Jimmy, it'll cut you off. But man, I appreciate
That's
you,
cool, bro.
brother.
For
And
sure.
we'll
I
talk
appreciate you
soon.
having me, man.
Yes, sir. I'll tie in with you. But appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in. And we'll see you soon. I'll be back Sunday. Cheers.
Already.